It's Daytona 500 week or day. I don't know. So I guess we'll just kind of. I didn't do ARC or Xfinity race reviews, so we'll have like a little mini race review. Maybe post there or whatever, could put like a time code or something, so you can get right to the Cup stuff. So ARCA. Generally, it was kind of a typical ARCA shit show race with a lot of memes like usual. There was a car that was trying to get up on track, got stuck. Peak ARCA dumb stuff, but it actually went green to the end, and there was a last lap pass, and it was absolutely glorious, and it was legitimately the best race, or at least the best finish all weekend. And ARCA, shockingly, may have had the best race the whole weekend. I never thought I would say that, but it did, and it blows my damn mind. Xfinity gave it a challenge, but the ending, just kind of another typical race where it just ends where it's not ended by the yellow, like, person crossing the finish line. It's by a caution thing, by electric timing and scoring, and we don't know who won. And now there's a whole bunch of controversy because John Hunter was below the line, but Allgaier like forced him down there. So shouldn't those two get a penalty for going below the line? And none of that was enforced. So again, they just don't care about that rule and just enforce whatever logic they want. So I don't understand that, but hey, Austin Hill won. Don't like him. He punched someone for like really no reason. So yeah, I'm not gonna sit here and support a driver that kicks someone's ass for a reason that's not really justified. So fuck him. So don't care. So the only correlation with that is conspiracy theory is Austin Hill is in a Richard Childress car. 2 + 1 is 3 in his 21 car. So ooh, Earnhardt conspiracy. Ooh. So that was adorable. But this is why we're all here for the Cup race. So I have my notes here. I did some stuff. At a certain point, I just gave up doing notes because I think part of the excitement just kind of got to me, and I just kind of got tired of keeping track of things. But I think I've kept track for at least the first 160 laps or something. But for Daytona 500, we'll start with positives. Apparently, the pre-race show was good. That's nice. It needs to not be such a clown show and making a mockery of the entire sports. Okay, all right, that's a step forward. I don't know if that's Daytona 500 exclusive because more eyes are going to be on them, so they're going to like put this facade on that. Oh, hey, we're going to be very professional, legitimate, and then they're going to go back to being like a complete circus. So we'll see. But so far, okay, that's good. We had a full driver lineup, and I was making a big deal about this because they never do that. And then people in Day 500 champs like Chad are like, well, it's a Daytona 500, of course. But it's like, that used to be the norm. That used to be the fucking norm. Where you get a full driver lineup. The Daytona 500 should not be the exception. It should be just the standard. So, but yeah, it was good. Will they do that every week? Probably not. So I'll probably bitch about that next week. But hey, they did something nice there, and I appreciate it. Commercials made us miss the pass for the lead with Bell, and they didn't even show it right after they came back to commercial. It was like an afterthought, and that's a whole other tangent with the commercial breaks. Man, this race, I guess the only way for you to enjoy this race is if you got free tickets and you were just gifted to go to that race, or you were having to go to them and spend an absorbent amount of money. But hey, those 5% of fans, they got one of the best Daytona 500s in a while, because it looked really good. Unfortunately, from the TV side of things, sitting at home, which 95% are in watching this race, got a shit product. Just commercials up the ass. On Twitter, there was an average. Someone was keeping track. There was on average a commercial every 8 laps. And mind you, getting around the track at Daytona is about, it's not even a minute, it's maybe 49, 50 seconds. Now, most standard shows, they usually have a commercial every 10 minutes. That's usually how it goes. Like, even if you, like, this is just an example, like Cartoon Network shows, or if you're watching other just standard TV shows, usually it's always like, there's a commercial break at 10 minutes or 11 minutes. In this, there was on average of, if there was a caution, or if there was a commercial every 8 laps, then there was commercials happening every 7 minutes. I mean, oh my god. Now, there was a stat saying that the same amount of commercials being shown as it was in 2007. It doesn't feel like it. I mean, it feels like the commercials are longer, and then when you get back out of commercial, then you're being presented with more commercials, and you're missing things in the fucking race. And it's a shame because the race seemed pretty good, but we get so much cutaways to other random crap, or that they really want to get that Wendy's like sponsor placement in, that they missed something happening on the track. And it's like these segments, like, it's not like we cut. It's like it's little things. That's the thing that bugs me. It's little things. Like if it's a one isolated thing, I don't even think I would bring it up, but it compounds on top of each other, and it gets ridiculous. So not only do we get like a Wendy's ad, but we have like a whole like 4 or 5 second transition of, oh, here's Wendy's, here's the cam, and the camera's like pointed all the way to the left, so you can't even see like the, and then you miss something, and then it's like, okay, well that sucks. But then they go back and do it again, so they do it right, and it's like, oh my god, it was just absurd. I don't even know what the percentage was. I would have to go and like find the full race on YouTube and do like a fucking supercut in my own personal time, which I don't know if I'll ever do that or actually have the time. But I swear to God, it felt like 40 to 60% of this race was just under commercial. It was absolutely absurd. And it was a shame because that first stage, second stage, were pretty good. Now, when I say pretty good, I mean, it was organic. It had a natural flow to it. People were pitting. We had green flag pit stops. We saw Kyle Busch, who started in the back, same with Jimmy Johnson, work their way up into the top 10 with no yellows, just pit stops and organic. Like that was pretty freaking cool. That was awesome. And the stages take that element away, and it pisses me off because it just breaks the flow of a race, and it happened here, and it's always gonna be a fucking problem. It just depends on how egregious it was, or if there's like a yellow that's like coincidentally like right before the stage ends, so it's kind of like, okay, that would have happened no matter what. So it's like, but those are very specific circumstances that's not always gonna line up. But yeah, man, it's frustrating because this race was so close. It was so fucking close to being like an 8 out of 10 for me. But there's just certain things, the commercial breaks, we're missing key elements of the race, drive me absolutely freaking nuts. And it's like at times they care. Like if there's an opportunity for a commercial, like if there's, oh my god, they'll just take a commercial break at 2 minutes after they get back from a commercial, and then they go back in. It's like, it's insane. It is insane. I really hope this whatever TV contract they just go to get streaming rights, and we don't have to deal with this shit anymore. I would pay whatever a yearly fee to get a race with no freaking ads. Like it's just absurd. I'm tired of it, especially for a race like this. You know, this could be a lot of people's like introduction to the sport. You know, I'm trying to think like, you know, if a casual's watching this and they're just getting compounded with commercials. And I mentioned this in my notes, but when they missed that pass with Bell, they didn't even show it right after they came back to commercial break. Instead, they have like a little like 30-second segment on talking about grip, which it's fucking Daytona. Tire wear didn't even mean shit. People were pitting and not taking tires at certain points of the race, so tire wear really meant nothing. So yeah, that segment meant nothing, and we are just left in the dark of like, okay, well, how did Bell get the lead? And it turns out there was something that happens. Like, but see, it's like they have their priorities not on the race itself, but like other things, whether it's sponsors and segments. And I understand sponsors should be the backbone of a sport to financially back them, but you gotta find a way to integrate them a little more like organically or a little more flawlessly instead of just like literally cutting to a Wendy's cam that takes up the full screen, or a Coca-Cola thing that takes up the full screen. It's like a 4-second transition or a 3-second transition. And then you miss things and you don't show it. Like, they didn't even, oh my god, it's a nightmare. So that was just infuriating. Also, Logano does something stupid on track. I wrote in my notes, he needlessly pushed Larson almost into a crash when he was leading for no reason. No reason at all. He was just pushed, like, we're like not even through stage 1, and Larson or Logano was just like 2-car tangling him like way far out there. No need to do something that stupid and almost caused a big one. Yet again, Logano continues to be an absolute ass on track. And there was something JC sent me, like, Logano believes he could be a 5-time champion. I just wanted to throw up. I mean, the man is so entitled and so up his own ass. It is astronomical. He thought he could have won the 20. He basically, Logano said, basically what he was saying is, if anytime he's in the Final Four, he feels entitled that he could have won the championship. 2014, 2015, well, why am I going on tangents about him? It doesn't fucking matter. But yeah, it's just stupid shit. Not surprising. He'll always be stupid on track. And yeah, that was just a dumb moment. They had like a Michael Waltrip segment of like where he's at, and they miss a battle for the lead because of that. Like, they take away their focus for Michael Waltrip. It's just like it's gone beyond the point of like bad timing, but it's like every year there's bad timing for shit. Herbst Rex going in the pit road, but there wasn't a yellow, so that's good. I appreciate that. There didn't need to be yellow for that. I appreciate that. That's good. So, yeah. There's still fucking blurring on the point of view cam. Why? Why is that still a thing? Why even have that camera angle if you're just gonna blur things out? Is the water temperature too risque? Like, it ruins the shot. And I like the fact that Logano and Boyer try to gaslight people. Well, first Boyer gaslit people saying, oh, F1 does that, and then somebody on Twitter's like, well, no, they don't actually do that. It's like, Boyer, where are you getting information from? And again, I don't trust Boyer making a fucking ham sandwich, let alone telling me these bits of information, because the same dumb ass bitch that was like, oh yeah, I didn't turn anyone. He's like looking up and down the interview like he was not just doing a shitty job lying. Still not gonna defend him for that. I'm still not gonna call him a hero for that. It's just, ugh. So, and Logano's saying, well, NASCAR teams don't want the people to see that. Because apparently, that bit of information is just too top secret. Even though we've had basically this general information for fucking decades. Almost 100 fucking years. Why am I getting mad about that? I don't... And it's like, it's pixelated, but it's like, okay, we still see something like red and flashing, so it doesn't even do its job right in terms. It's stupid, it's dumb, it's bad, it's distracting. And the only one that they didn't do it for was Briscoe. And I was thinking, why? Well, the way they position the camera, his hand is over the freaking thing, so they didn't need a sensor. It's like, I was almost going to give them credit and be like, okay, that's kind of a good like workaround of doing the sensor with like the hand. Like, okay, I can live with that. I thought that might have been what the approach was, but no. So it just feels like they treat the TV audience just like children. It's just insulting. I know I'm going on a tangent about like censoring a fucking dashboard, but it's just unneeded. It's unfucking needed. I'm sorry to bitch. I'm sorry to fucking complain. Leave. Fucking flock to someone else that will sugarcoat the race and tell you it's absolutely 10 out of 10. But man, it's just, and you know what? After all that, stage 1 was pretty good. It went green the whole way. Green flag pit stops. No one wrecked at the end. There was a weird moment where Logano was beefing with Hamlin at pit road for no reason, even though, again, Logano does something stupid on track, nothing new. I mean, we need, like, a compilation, like a supercut that's, like, 24 hours long of Logano being stupid on track. Like, him and Hamlin got into it, but I don't think Logano knew that Hamlin was, like, stuck in a 3-wide situation. It didn't mean to do it. It'll be one thing if it's, but it's like, he doesn't even give it a chance to even understand or comprehend the context of what happened. It's not like he talks to the person and be like, or talks to his crew chief like, hey, what happened with that? And then they explain to him. No, he just immediately fucking flicking him off. It's like, what a loser. What an absolute loser. So yeah, that was weird. There was a horrific timing of an ad break when a wreck happens. And this ad play... I need a fucking drink. I'm gonna fucking pass out. Okay. I had some water in my system. I needed that because I was almost gonna just... Okay, I'm being a little hyperbolic, but... So. They go to commercial and then a wreck happens. Okay, sometimes bad luck timing with that can happen. But you know what they could have done? Remember back in like 2001 Daytona 500 when there was that big wreck? They cut from commercial and went right to the race because they knew that this was an important thing to get to. They didn't wait till the end of the commercial, and then after that, then have a Wendy's commercial ad break after the commercial, and then show the no. Okay, I'm being like hyperbolic and like strawmanning, but I'll explain what happened because I'm so pissed. So not they just let that whole ad break happen as this big wreck happens. It's like there's a big wreck cut from the commercial right into the fucking race. You're gonna have like 35 other opportunities to cram in 16 commercials in like an hour span. You could have cut from that and get right back into the race. Because we're watching on this little screen of like, I'm trying to like squint and see like, okay, who the hell wrecked? Okay, that was Eric Jones and that was Ryan Blaney, Tyler Reddick. Just cut back to the goddamn race. Why is that such a foreign thing now? Why are we getting less when we used to get more with less technology? Why is that? It's so unnecessary. And this ad goes on, this whole like side-by-side ad thing goes on for like 3 minutes. They picked the worst time to go from, they went side-by-side under fucking yellow, but they go to side-by-side, they go to full commercial when they're green. It's like, who makes these decisions? Who makes these decisions? It's awful. It's a shame because this race was really fucking good. Like, it was so good. And it got ruined by just terrific coverage. I guess I should have just forked out my life savings and gone to the race. And I mean, granted, I probably would have been pissed at the end, but you know what? At least oh my god. And it's like, not everyone can just like fork out, hundreds and thousands of dollars to get to a race. Not everyone's going to be in that position. So it's so important to get the coverage right. Because that's how 95% of the people are going to be consuming the product. And when you give them this, it's a mess. It's a shame. The first 185 laps or something, I mean, it was really good. It was really fucking good. And it just got whittled down by just ass coverage. And man, it just bugs me. So yeah, the ad break stuff, that was just ridiculous. I talk about the 5-second transition to a Wendy's, sponsor segment thing, and then yellow. I talk about the side-by-side caution, off-loose side-by-side with a blade. Oh yeah, so yeah. I mean, at least from what I've seen, the cautions made sense, except for right at the end with Daniel Suarez. They threw that caution out really freaking quick. Now, coincidentally, by luck, it played out for them. Because Suarez got turned, went to the inside, didn't hit anything, kept going, but then his car got stuck in the grass. But they threw the caution before his car even got sideways enough for smoke to come out. Like, they threw that so quick. It's just, again, a luck situation where they just happened to make the right call before the wreck even played out. Because what if Suarez just spun to the left and kept going, which was just about to happen? They would have thrown out a yellow for an unneeded reason. And yeah, it's just luck. Then we get to the end, which turned out to be one of the most typical Daytona 500s, where they just crash, they wreck, and it just turns into a big old shit show. And unfortunately, that knocks down a couple pegs, which normally it does. But then, as usual, which doesn't happen every year, but it literally feels like every other year this is now a thing. I don't know. But it ends under yellow. There's a massive crash. And again, I want to preface this. I want to make it clear for the people that have like one brain cell out there. I understand why that yellow was thrown. I get it. There was a big old fucking mega death in that corner. I get it. It just sucks that a race has to come down to timing and scoring and not the finish line. I wish that, okay, this is going to be a nuclear take, but I wish the overtime line comes back. But it's done in a different way. Where basically, on the white flag, if they don't make it to turn 3, where that Montoya line is, where they had to repave it, like they can do something and put a line there. If they don't reach to that point on the white flag, they have to rack them up and do it again. But if they're on the white flag and they cross that line and then there's a wreck, let them race the line. I feel like that's the best way to get a finish that goes to the checkered. But at the same time, you're going to be screwed because you got to be dealing. There's going to be more wrecks from that. So I don't know what is the answer. Maybe just ending at 500 miles would be the proper answer instead of going 530 goddamn miles or however many it went. Because the Daytona 500 has been so whittled down from speed weeks to speed week. Just how they handle this big race anymore. The 500 is such a crapshoot. There's honestly, almost really any race has so much more merit to winning than this track that just means nothing now. I mean, the track really has not been legitimate to me since 2011. 2010 was the last year for that to me because the track was old. The pavement was old. It was a lot of mechanical grip. There was a lot of driver skill involved in being good there and winning. Ever since that repave, it's not been the same. I mean, the track seems to have worn, but the tires they bring, they don't fall off. People are just choosing not to take tires, so clearly that shows that tire wear meant 0%. And, these last 13 years, it's more often than not every year, but, you have a bigger opportunity of just people that win that don't. It doesn't really define their career. I mean, does Trevor Bayne win the 500? I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. And it's just unfortunate that we have people that won the 500 that really don't really feel like they deserve it. Or you get drivers like Tony Stewart and Mark Martin and Rusty Wallace never had a shot at it. But, we get Michael McDowell, Cindric, and now Ricky Stenhouse, who literally is just a wrecking ball. And mind you, back in 2017, when he won those 2 restrictor plate races, it was later found out that they were doing some illegal shit with the car on the hood because it was dipped in position weird, and that's how he was able to win those. So those 2 wins were kind of just blatantly cheating. So and also because of that, it gave Stenhouse an ego the size of a small planet, and he wrecked and caused problems. And now with this 500, that's gonna enable that ego back into him. He's just gonna start doing stupid shit restrictor plate again. Couple years went by and he didn't win. He was starting to kind of have a little bit of logic and common sense. Now he's just going to be an absolute idiot again. So I don't know what to tell you. It's just the Daytona 500 really, I don't really think should be. I'm saying such nuclear takes, but I don't think it should be considered a crown jewel anymore. I really don't. I think actually winning at Darlington has much more just weight and meaning behind it because it's an actual racetrack that takes a lot of driver skill and not just being just lucky enough to not die. Virtually in Minecraft. It just doesn't really mean anything. And it's every year I get hyped for it. And I fall in the same pitfall where I get really, really excited. Maybe it's because I'm just excited because I just want someone to win it that really should probably have earned one by now. Like a Truex, like a Kyle Busch. I don't know. Not Logano. But when it comes to Stenhouse, all of his wins have just been at super speedways, and they don't really mean anything. It's just empty. Yeah, he's gonna get the ring, he's gonna get the accolades, but it's really not gonna define much of his driving prowess. I honestly think Eric Jones is on a whole other caliber because he won 2 Southern 500s, and I think those are way more impressive wins. What made Derek Cope's 500 win special is because it was so unconventional. Now it happens almost every other year or just so much more often that's not really special anymore. We got with 2011 and then 2020, oh my god, I can't remember, 2018 and then 2021, 2022 and 2023. So it's I just kind of listed off 5 and there was 14, so not always, but it just doesn't feel the same. I don't know. I don't know. I don't even know what to give this rating because I was really close to giving it an 8, but with the yellows, the broadcast, the yellows at the end, the broadcast, the way it ended, I would have to probably give it a 5. It's frustrating because this could have been such a high rating, but it just too many things knocked it down. And again, it's so just because the ending was bad, that doesn't mean oh, here's the thing. Here's how I define my race reviews. it's okay for a race to have like an upward trajectory, and then maybe in the middle, okay, it can kind of dip down a little bit, but it's got to crescendo up, and it's got to end in a good note to leave a lasting impression. This doesn't leave a lasting impression. It just kind of was just frustrating, and it's just like I sat around for all that, and with the broadcast, all the commercial, it was just aggravating. It's just frustrating. So I don't even know what to say beyond that. It's just because of the good couple of moments in the race, the green flag runs, it saved what was the ending. So I'm just gonna give it right down the middle of the road, 5 out of 10. I feel like that's okay. That's a fair rating. Obviously, if I feel like I'm being fair, I don't feel like I'm being too extreme, but I feel like a mid race is pretty good. It had the potential to be so much higher, but just that ending just absolutely destroyed it. And yeah, I don't even know what really to say. Sorry for ranting so much, but this might be the longest one of my race review stuff because it's the 500. And I also talked about 2 other races, and I probably add some of that too. But I don't know. I'm done. That's my thoughts. Take care.